30 seconds. Good evening and welcome to the Florissant City Council meeting for November 27th, 2023. I would ask that you all stand and join the council and the mayor in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Pagano? Here. Parson? Present. Siam? Here. Harris? Here. Manganelli? Here. Egan?
Here.
Caputa? Here. Shildroth?
Here.
O'Donnell?
Here.
Let the record reflect that a quorum is present. Approval of the minutes. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Are there any corrections or additions to the meeting minutes of November the 13th, 2023? Mr. Parson makes a motion to approve the minutes that is seconded by Mr. Manganelli. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The meeting minutes are approved. I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add Bill number 9936 to first readings that is seconded by Mr. Shildroth. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And the motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the passing and presentation of resolution number 1053.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Florissant recognizing City Attorney John M. Hessel for his outstanding dedication to the City of Florissant and significant professional achievements in the St. Louis region.
Councilman Pagano makes a motion for a second reading that is seconded by Mr. Shildroth. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed?
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Florissant recognizing City Attorney John M. Hessel for his outstanding dedication to the City of Florissant and significant professional achievements in the St. Louis region.
Mr. Parson makes a motion for a third reading that is seconded by Mr. Caputa. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Pagano? Yes. Parson?
Yes.
Siam?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Manganelli?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Florissant recognizing the City Attorney John M. Hessel for his outstanding dedication to the City of Florissant and significant professional achievements in the St. Louis region. Whereas John Hessel grew up in Florissant, beginning his tenure with the City of Florissant working in the Parks Department. Whereas Mr. Hessel was appointed as the Assistant Prosecuting Attorney in 1989 and became the Florissant City Attorney in 1991. Whereas Mr. Hessel's dedication and commitment to the City of Florissant over the years is unsurpassed. He has served under 4 mayors, 33 council members, served with 4 city clerks, and 4 municipal judges. Whereas Mr. Hessel's guidance throughout the years has provided the elected and appointed officials the strength and confidence to not only do the right thing, but ensure that all decisions were legal and for the benefit of the city and its residents. Whereas Mr. Hessel has received many awards to include being named Lawyer of the Year for multiple years by Best Lawyers for Missouri Law and Commercial Litigation, Citizen of the Year in Kirkwood and DePere, and Medal of Valor Award from the Crusade Against Crime. Whereas John and Pat Hessel have been married for 38 years, he is very proud father of Mark, Laura, and Catherine, father-in-law to Dawn and Brent, and grandfather to Kaylin, Hannah, and Truman. Whereas when asked what he is most proud of, he answered that his greatest prize, his sense of accomplishment, are his children and grandchildren. He is also proud that he was able to make a positive impact on the lives of others. Whereas John would say to his kids at the end of the year, well, it's been a pretty good year. No one has been arrested, and no one has appeared on Jerry Springer. Whereas along with John's sense of humor and ability to make us feel like the sky is not falling on a regular basis, his professionalism and confidence has provided stability for the City of Florissant for many years. After 34 years as a dedicated attorney, confidant, advisor, shoulder to cry on, firewall, peacekeeper, and mediator, but most importantly, a truly good person and a friend to all. Mr. Hessel will retire as the city attorney for the city of Florissant effective December 1st, 2023. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the mayor and the city council of Florissant, Missouri, as follows: that the mayor and city council take great pleasure in recognizing the significant professional achievements of John M. Hessel, and herewith express their sincere gratitude for the invaluable contributions he has made to the city of Florissant and surrounding communities, and wish him all the best in his retirement. You will be missed.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone on the dais that would like to make comment? I'll start with Ms. Pagano, please.
You lucky guy. This could go on and on, but I won't let it. But, John, I cannot thank you enough for all your help and guidance these past 12 years. You have always showed your kindness and patience with me. I tend to ask a lot of questions. Really? Yeah. And have a tendency to speak my mind. But you have always listened and gave me clear and sound advice. I am sure there were many times, especially working with me and Timmy on the crime-free rental ordinance, where during those meetings you were thinking ever so quickly about how am I going to shut these two up and try to clarify what they are trying to say without going to court. But you always did it so gracefully and professionally. I am so happy for you in your retirement, but I'm also very sad that I'm losing you here. It has been a privilege to work with you. My wish for you in this next chapter of life is that you have good health and good friends, and most of all, great adventures with your family. Enjoy it, my friend. It's well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Mr. O'Donnell.
Mr. Hessel, on behalf of my family and the citizens of Ward 6, thank you for all of your service. I've been on the council for a while now and observed firsthand what I first came to know as a citizen and a business owner in the city, that you are a person of knowledge and integrity with a statesman-like demeanor. I'm also aware of your courage and resolute strength in the face of a tragedy many years ago in the chambers of Kirkwood. For your care, concern, constant commitment, and for your steadfast and unwavering service to our city, I say well done. Thank you for all you have meant to our community, and may God bless you and your family in all you do. Thank you.
Mr. Caputa.
Thank you, Mr. President. John, congratulations. Good luck on your retirement and whatever endeavor you have in the future. Thank you for being there when we needed it. You have directed this council the right way. We have always trusted you, and you're the best. You're the GOAT. You are the GOAT. And we're going to miss you, John, and thank you for everything that you did. And I remember the first couple times I was on council, even probably to this date, every time I talk, I look over, John's giving me that look, like, watch what you say. But we kept it on the straight line. So, man, John, you will be missed, and thank you for everything that you have done for the city.
Thank you, Jeff. Mr. Manganelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. If he's the GOAT, can we call him Tom Brady? No, John, when I first got interested in happenings in Florissant and everything, I'd watch the city council meetings from home and the times where you interjected in the meetings and everything. And I was always impressed and really respected how you handled every situation, the advice that you gave. And now being on council, I too greatly appreciate your your advice and your counsel to us and keeping us all in line. So I too want to congratulate you on your retirement and wish you many, many good years from here with the family. Thank you.
Mr. Parson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Counselor, congrats on your retirement here. I know this is probably something that, all these years have probably flown by here for you, or maybe they haven't. Maybe but, I know we truly appreciate all of your advice. You've always been someone who has had a calm and savvy advice for all of us, and I really appreciate that. Not every attorney is able to do that effectively. I know that for certain. So I just really appreciate the way that you handle things, the way that you're able to discuss other matters with opposing parties. It's just made our job a lot easier. And I really appreciate the fact that whenever you do say something to the council, that everyone takes your advice to heart, and they know that that's something that they can trust. And we just appreciate you. We're going to miss you. I don't know who they're going to find to be the lawyer of the year anymore after this.
Jackie, you're stepping right up.
Yeah, Jackie's up next. So, but thank you so much for your advice. I appreciate you.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Mr. Harris.
I want to say that, John, you have my respect and admiration, and appreciated your sharp ability, of course, expertise, honesty, and your humor, too. I've learned quite a bit in the last 6 years that I've gotten to work with you, and it's not just the knowledge piece, but it's also the way that you handle yourself with people, and you care about people. You care about all people. So thank you for everything. Congratulations on your retirement, and hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Mr. Sam.
Thank you, Mr. President. John, just to piggyback on what everybody else has said, I just want to say I'm thankful for your 34 years of legal expertise, that you've done right by our city for 34 years, and we appreciate it a lot up here. And just want to say thank you for that. And in addition to that, it's always been pleasant to have you around and enjoyable to have you around as well, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hessel. I have told you and others that I would willingly lie to my doctor, my priest, and maybe sometimes my wife, but I would not lie to my counselor. And you did. I would also not necessarily always take their advice. However, I've learned over the years that your advice has always been sage. It has not always what I wanted to hear or what we as a council wanted to hear, but it was always best for the city, which I always felt that you had at the very core of your existence was the overall good of the city of Florissant and the residents and the people that live here and do business here. You've always been that beacon of light that I've never seen you upset. I'm sure you've had your moments. When things seem to be falling apart, you seem to be calmest, and I hope that I've learned from that. I hope I've learned from how you've treated your position, and I take that with me after you're gone. I wish you the very best of luck. I valued you before I really knew you. And Mr. O'Donnell's mentioned February of 2008. When you were a true hero, you've also been a true hero to the citizens of Florissant for many, many years. Godspeed, my friend. Mr. Shildroff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Hessel on a terrific, productive, and historical career. I think it's very unique today for someone to work in the public sector in the town that he was born and raised for this period of time. I first watched Mr. Hessel as a resident sitting in this chamber maneuver many challenges to this body, residents, and the city of Florissant. His handling of the city's first TIF project across Keys was textbook, and at the time was closely watched by many. But in the end, his guidance and knowledge were evident. As an elected official, I will miss his calm, detail-oriented demeanor and the true love for his hometown. The issues varied from converting to a single trash hauler, red light cameras, and on a lighter note, the return of a chicken wing restaurant to the city of Florissant. And perhaps most important in that conversation was the explaining of legislative immunity. Thank you, John. It's been an honor and a privilege to work alongside of you.
Thank you. Your Honor.
Well, thanks, John, for all your years of service to the city. Congratulations on your retirement, well deserved. Certainly consider you a friend, a colleague. I've appreciated everything that you've done. I've been with the city for 34 years also. I didn't realize you both started full time, but basically in 1989. And of course, you've worked under 4 mayors and 2 Lowrys, so you certainly deserve the gray hair that you have. So I know it can be difficult at times. I've always appreciated your advice. I can tell you this, I didn't always agree with it, but I always followed it as a wise man that I believe that I am. And because I always knew that wherever you were sending me, whatever road I was going down, and if I was going down the wrong road, you would certainly stop me and point me in a different direction. And certainly I've always appreciated that. And like I said, just the fact that, like Keith mentioned, that you grew up here in the city of Florissant just like I did, and you're able to serve the city of Florissant for really probably closer to 40 years with your time with the Parks Department. And now the last 34 years is our legal advice. And, you served under 4 mayors, like I said. It wasn't easy. I also had the opportunity to work for all the other 3. And I know that we all had our challenges. All 4 of us did. There's no doubt about it. But I can tell you this, I think we all followed you. And thank you so much, and appreciate your family being here tonight. I'm sure you're going to mention them in a minute, but thank you guys for being here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up for John tonight. He certainly deserves to be recognized. And honestly, the city is where it is today because of John Hustle. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Mayor. Before the final vote is taken on this resolution, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak towards it? Please come forward now. Mr. Zeiken, come forward. Please state your name.
Sorry, but I think there must be some prohibition.
I've actually turned on both microphones so we can get everything in here.
There you go.
My name is Don Zeikan, long-term member of City of Florissant. I really wasn't going to do this tonight, but since you invited me up,
I did.
I had to do this. I went to high school with John. John and I crossed a lot of bridges together, good and bad. We'll save all them bad notes for later. He's a true man. He's a man's man, and he's a wonderful person. I was at his first meeting here at City Hall when he took over. He made it through 4 mayors, just like you said. He's out-sustained each and every one of you sitting on the council right now. He's probably been to more campaign parties than all of you put together. How he's done it, I really don't know. His lovely wife is sitting over there. But anyway, thanks for allowing me the opportunity to say congratulations, John. And I am going to work really, really hard to get him fishing. Now, I haven't gotten him to cross over yet, but I'm going to work on it. I got a new boat last year, so John, I'm going to get you before it's over with. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zeiken.
Appreciate it. Same objection.
Mr. Bellman, good evening.
Good evening. Yes, Mark Bellman. The council has to pick a good attorney, and you guys have got a very tough job ahead of you. From the other side of the dais is petitioners like myself that have made many presentations here. And what's very unique about John is John was never afraid to talk to the people in the audience. Council members, that's who he works for. And you're right, he's supposed to keep you out of jail and trouble, and he didn't do too good of a job with Mr. English, but that's okay. Can't win them all. But from the people that stand out on the dais, they have to come up and make presentations. It's good to have an attorney that is kind, gentle, and one that cares for the people. In all the years that I've made presentations, John, you've always been very respectful, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bellman. Mr. Besterman, good evening.
Hi, Kim Besterman, 3805 Salvation Road, Florissant, 63034. I've been a longtime friend of John Hessel's as my position with as the Executive Director of the St. Louis County Fire Standards Commission, overseeing the operations of the Fire Academy and the training of the new firefighters. I've dealt with John and his law firm on several issues. He went my way on many of those, so I appreciate that. Over the years, I've also served as the committee person for Guns and Hoses. And we had just had our event last Wednesday at the Enterprise Center. We raised funds with a boxing match with police, fire, and EMS, and all the money goes to the backstoppers. John personally and professionally has been a long-time supporter of Guns and Hoses and the backstoppers. And at the current time, we support 90 families of fallen police, fire, and EMS personnel who died in the line of duty protecting their communities. John has been an outstanding supporter of that and continues to be, and we appreciate him. At the end of every Guns and Hoses, the 40 members of our committee are presented with a token of appreciation. This year we were presented with a token commemorative coin. It represents the 36 years that Guns and Hoses has been in service. With permission of the county, with the council president, the council, and the mayor, I'd like to present my coin to John Hessel for his support of Guns and Hoses.
Thank you, Mr. Besserman.
Thanks, Kim. I'll cherish this for sure.
Good evening, Mr. Garrett.
How are you tonight?
Good to see
Good
you.
evening, Mayor, Council, and especially Mr. Hessel. I will first pose a question. Since John's retirement isn't until December, are you sure that before you get any advice he renders tonight, you wish to pass a resolution thanking him? But seriously, I was privileged to serve on council while John was city attorney. I had the greater privilege of being on council when we had to vote to approve his appointment. And since then, John has been exemplary as a city attorney. So thank you, John. And Mark Schmidt is here tonight from council. He's speaking after me. I think he will echo my comments, and that we probably speak on behalf of all the members of council over the years in thanking John for his service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. Good evening, Mr. Schmidt.
Good evening. Mark Schmidt. First of all, I served 21 years as a Florissant City Councilman. I served all 21 years with Mr. Hessel. Enjoyed every bit of it. We went through some tough times during that time. There were some legal issues that really pushed the city limits, one being the TIF that you brought up with the Cross Keys, which ended up being probably one of the best things that ever happened to the city. And as you stated, he served under 4 mayors. Well, there is one that kind of got missed in that. There was an interim mayor in that Mr. Hessel had to guide us through with the passing of Mayor Egan. John Moran had to take over the reins as an interim mayor for a number of months, and that was quite the spectacle to try and navigate. And Mr. Hessel did a wonderful job keeping the council together and having that as an interim mayor. That was really a struggle. But overall, I will say this. I know I served on council with Mr. Hessel, but I recognize Mr. Hessel more as a friend than I do a colleague, or a counselor for this city. I became a really good friend with Mr. Hustle. We spent many hours socializing. And so I really appreciated that. And with that, I'll end my comments because I want this meeting to really get going, and you guys need to move on. But thank you, Mr. Hustle, for all your service.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. Mr. Mulcahy.
Patrick Mulcahy, 2040 St. Louis Street. Thank you for letting me speak tonight to say a few words about Mr. Hessel. I've had the pleasure of working with John Hessel as both a council member and as a member of the city staff. And John talked me through quite a few complicated issues and helped me get out of a few problems as well. Whether it was meeting with John in closed session over there in that room as a member of the council or meeting with John in the mayor's office, I knew that with John I was always getting two things. One, the truth, and two, the best interest of the city. I always trusted whatever John told me, whether it was on the council or as a staff member. John grew up in Florissant, and every conversation I ever had with him, I could tell his love for Florissant never left. He truly cares about this community, and he was always looking out for the best interests of Florissant. One of his favorite quotes to the council was, that I remember was, he would say, "While Florissant is my favorite client, you are not my only client." And then he would tell us how he tackled a similar issue somewhere else and give us his sound advice for how we should tackle that problem here as well. And we certainly always listened to his advice. And during my time as a staff member, I would have many phone calls with John, and he would often say, "Now this advice I'm about to give you is not legal advice, so feel free to tell me to be quiet at any time." But I never would tell John to be quiet, because I knew what he was about to say would be knowledgeable and good advice that I should follow. So I'm going to miss working with Mr. Hessel, and I know that his many years of dedication to Florissant will be remembered, and he truly made Florissant a better place. Congratulations, John, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mulcahy.
Mr. President, may I speak?
Just a moment. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to make comment? Before we vote on this resolution, against my better judgment, I'll give an attorney the microphone. It's all yours, Mr. Hessel.
You may regret that, Joe, as my family knows it. Well, first off, thanks to all of you for this very warm send-off. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It really has been an honor and a privilege to serve as the city attorney, and I wish I could identify and thank everybody in the audience. We don't have time for that. But as I say, my mama raised a fool, but it's my three brothers and my sister. I'm smart enough to know that I need to recognize my wife, Pat. Along with my daughter, Laura, my daughter, Catherine, and her husband, Brent, and my grandson, Truman. Having said that, Keith, you alluded to it. This story is almost too good to be true. I mean, Florissant truly is part of every fiber in my body and in my heart. I'll quickly explain that the Hessel family, mom, dad, my three brothers, and my sister, we all moved into Florissant back in 1958. And we hung around with people like the Egan's and the Ruffs and the Lemps and the Darrows and the Kings and the Hudsons, and the list goes on and on. St. Dismas Grade School, St. Thomas Aquinas High School. In fact, I'm a lawyer because a Florissant police officer, Jay Noser, told me to be a lawyer. He was my baseball coach. I think I was 10 or 11 years old. We'd go to what we referred to as Perlmutter Field, which is right there at Waterford and Lindbergh. They had baseball fields, they had soccer fields, and he was my baseball coach. And I'll never forget, we had a practice there. When practice was over, I was on my bike listening on the radio to all the things that were going on, and I was asking them questions. And I said, I think when I grow up, I'm going to be a cop. He said, are you interested in the whole process? And I said, yeah. He said, then you need to be a lawyer. I'll never forget it. From that day on, every time somebody would ask me what I'm going to do, I said, I'm going to be a lawyer. And it worked. I have to digress, and please forgive me for this. Jay Noser and I stayed in touch. And for those of you who might remember, Jay was shot in a bank robbery in June of 1979. And he retired in 1981 because of the wounds that he was suffering from, and we stayed in touch. He died in October of 2008. Ironically, I was asked to be the keynote speaker at the prayer breakfast in 2009, and Jay Noser was recognized. God worked in very mysterious ways. I spend my summers working for the summer playground. So, Mayor, if you're going to go back to the Parks and Recreation Department, I've been with the city for 55 years, more than 55 years. My summers were here, Christmas vacation, I worked for the city. On spring break, when everybody else was going to the beach, I came back here and I worked for the city of Florissant. Mayor Egan sponsored me to go to law school. I graduated in 1977. Got a call from Mayor Egan saying, congratulations, I see you passed the bar exam. I'd like you to do some work for the city of Florissant. And I said, I'd love to serve on any board or commission. Florissant's my home. It's meant so much to me. And he said, oh no, this is going to be a paying job. I'm like, wow, I got my first client. First day. And I was appointed to be the assistant prosecuting attorney and assistant city attorney in 1977. Jack Muhlenkamp was the city attorney, and Jack was providing me with a lot of guidance along the way. And I always forget whether or not it was 88 or 89, but it was November, the last meeting in November, just like this, and the city council did not renew Jack's contract. I got a call the next day from Dave Reynolds, who was the council president at that point in time, saying that the city council did not renew Jack Muhlenkamp's contract and wanted to know if I'd serve on an interim basis. I said, let me think about that. I called Jim Egan. He said, you can do it, but you'd be crazy to do it, because he didn't get along all that well with the city council at that point in time. Called Jack Muhlenkamp, told Jack that I didn't know anything about this. If he thought in any way that I would be insulting him or disrespecting him, I would not take the job. He said, you do what you need to do. So I was hired as the acting city attorney. And I think that was in January of 89, somewhere in that time period. I was the acting city attorney because I guess they thought I'd see if I could do it right for another 2 years. And then I got appointed as the city attorney in 1991 as the city attorney. And I've been here ever since. As this council knows, you renew the contract either every year or every 2 years, and I often thought, wow, I wonder if I'm going to get voted out. And thankfully, you all didn't do that. The time that I've spent here truly has been wonderful. People have been terrific. At this point in time, you all know that I don't need to say nice things about you anymore. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to point out that in all the years, and I mean no disrespect whatsoever to the other members of the city council, they've all been great. As Bob Garrett, Mark Schmidt alluded to, we became friends. We became very good friends. The list gets longer if I could name them all. But this city council, the camaraderie and cooperation that you have with the mayor is unlike any other administration that I've seen in the last 45 years. I mean, if you go all the way back, the city council had one city attorney and the mayor had a different city attorney. That's how antagonistic it could become. And you all know from some experience, we've had a few moments of antagonism between, or differences of opinion between the administration, but not under Mayor Tim Lowry. The mayor, you're to be congratulated, you're to be applauded. Any of the citizens that are listening here need to know and understand and appreciate that mayor, staff, city council are all working together, put egos aside and work together for the best interest of the city of Florissant. And you're doing that, and I just speak for myself, it's greatly appreciated and greatly admired. So, having said that, I do want to mention one other thing. Karen, I'm not sure that I lost my bet, because I bet that you wouldn't make it through the reading of the resolution.
It was close.
Not very
did real
close,
good.
but I did want to bet because you did start crying after the resolution was read. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Karen. Her and I have become very, very good friends over the years, along with Betty Montano, who was the city clerk of Kirkwood. We're all friends, and it has been a pleasure. I will miss all of you, Karen particularly. I will miss you, miss working with you. But we'll get together. As I pointed out to people, I'm not dying. I am retiring, but lawyers don't ever retire. We just sort of step aside, and I want everyone to know that I feel like I am leaving you in very, very good hands. Jackie Graves will start serving as the city attorney come December 1. She's been working with me for years. You've seen her more within the last year, but she's always been there, providing me with assistance, guidance, help. You'll be happy to know that she's a lot nicer than I am. She's more patient than I am, and she's probably smarter than I am as well. So I leave you in very, very good hands. And once again, I thank you for having this opportunity. It's the local kid gets to be the city attorney for 35 years. Good story. Couldn't be happier.
Seeing no further comment, Madam Clerk, please poll the council.
Okay. You make me do that. Pagano? Yes. Parson?
Yes.
Siam?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Manganelli?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Resolution number 1053 passes. I would invite the mayor and council to present the proclamation to Mr. Hessel.
I'm not going to read it again, no.
You should be down
I got through it
here.
once. That's all I can do.
You should be down here.
I should be down there.
I think we did.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I apologize for wasting people's time when they have real business.
We do have a council meeting to attend to tonight, but I would let everyone know that if we will have a reception in these chambers at the conclusion of the meeting and invite everyone to stick around and have a few words with Mr. Hessel. Next item on the agenda is the hearing from citizens. This is a time to speak to the council on any issue not necessarily on the agenda for a period of 3 minutes. This is not a question and answer period. If you would like to speak to a council member or the mayor, please remain till after the meeting is over with and make contact with us then. If you are here to speak on a public hearing, we ask that you wait and speak until that public hearing is announced. I would ask that you, if you are interested, to please fill out a yellow card located on the table next to the front door and hand it to Mr. Hessel, who will pass it along. Seeing no one filling out a card, we will move along to the next item on the agenda, which is communications. There are no communications this week. Public hearings. Public hearing number 2311-029. This public hearing was postponed on November 13th and postponed to this meeting. Is the petitioner present? Please step forward and state your name.
Hello, Council. My name is Lisa Becker.
Good evening, Ms. Becker. If you will tell us a little bit about your project or what you hope to accomplish this evening.
Well, thank you first and foremost for an opportunity to speak to you this evening. I'm here today to ask for your support in allowing a zoning change for 8333 North Lindbergh from the current zoning of B1 to B3 for Extensive Business District. We ask this as we purchased this building about a year ago. We have worked very, very hard on what business to bring to the Florissant area, and due to the zoning qualifications, we've decided on a laundromat, and B1 is not zoned for laundry. So we have asked that you would consider changing the zoning to B3. This property is an outlier, along with 3 other outliers on Lindbergh that are still currently zoned B1. We feel that this would update the zoning map and, of course, allow us this opportunity to bring our business to you. So I'm happy to tell you about our business if that is something that you would like to hear about, and answer any questions that you may have.
Please proceed.
Certainly. So first and foremost, my name is Lisa Becker again. I have been in Florissant for the last 23 years. We run the IHOP restaurant on Lindbergh and have for the last 23 years. I was the original general manager for the restaurant for 8 years. And we've fallen in love with Florissant. And so now we have been doing this business for a long time, and we have finally gotten to a point that we want to open up our doors and go beyond the restaurant industry. One of the things that changed our industry so much was DoorDash. DoorDash brought business to our industry like we had never seen before. We would like to do this for the laundry service. So we have come with a new idea for laundry, which of course will involve self-service, but will also involve wash, dry, fold, and delivery and pickup for laundry service. So what we are aiming for is to provide a facility that your community needs. I'm not sure how many people have visited laundromats in the area. Most laundromats throughout the area, the greater St. Louis area, are not well maintained. They're not upgraded. The machinery is old. It's dingy. People don't like to go in there. They want to get in and they want to get out. We have partnered up with Speed Queen. They have some amazing technology, and we'll be bringing that to this laundromat where everything is done on an app basis. While there will be coin, the app allows for any one of our clientele to be able to upload funds on their card. They're able to use their phone to start and stop the machines. The app will also let the guests know when machines are available, what's open. It's early Saturday morning, you want to go do laundry, but you don't want to wait. It will tell you how many are available. It will notify you when your machine is nearing completion and allow you to extend time on that machine, which is something that is incredibly time-saving for people who want to multitask. Now, the idea of laundry, and when I have talked to my family, my friends, my peers about what we were doing, most of the response was, "What are you thinking?" But there's a big untapped resource in this industry, and that is the dual working households. This is the professionals, the young professionals, the people who don't want to spend Saturday tied to their laundromat, or to their washing machine, excuse me. If they had a facility that was clean, dependable, reliable, who could do a good service for them, I feel quite confident that we would see a lot of people take advantage of the service that we're willing to provide. We also want this to be a flagship. This is not a one-and-done kind of operation. So we would like to, plan to, open up to 10 to 15 in the St. Louis area and then continue to branch out from there. So really this would be our flagship store. And we feel that Florissant is a perfect community for this because of the experience we've had in this area for the last 20 years. It will be attended full-time. It will be operating from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. We will have somebody in the facility even beyond closing hours. Wash, dry, fold, delivery, and pickup will require somebody to be working overnight in our facility. We plan to open April 1st. We think that we can get the construction done by then. Within the first 3 to 6 months is when we plan to branch out into delivery and pickup. We will start with self-service and wash, dry, fold. This is still a new industry for us, and we've learned a lot. We've gone to conventions. We've visited many, many players in this game. But we also know what it takes to build a business, and we need a good foundation. So that's where we'll begin. And we're very hopeful 3 to 6 months down the road we'll be able to begin improving the operation with the delivery. So with that, I can open up to any questions that you might have.
I do have a few. Thank you. This public hearing is about changing zoning.
Correct.
And for everyone to know, you and I met today, along with the mayor. This is a zoning change, and what we're not doing is approving a laundromat. We're entertaining a request for a zoning change. That being said, you've discussed that zoning, a laundromat does not fit in a B1. There are approximately 16 B1 properties located throughout the city. Of the 16, half of them roughly are located either on Lindbergh or on New Halls Ferry. I want to read off for the record the types of businesses that are currently not allowed at that location and are allowed in a B3 should we change this. An adult daycare, an artist studio work area, a blueprinting shop, a craft room, a custom-made product sales, a department store, electrical lighting and sales shop, a funeral home, furniture and household goods store, general merchandise store, grocery store, heating and plumbing sales, laundry self-service, laundry collection and distribution, lawnmower service, massage parlor, marijuana dispensary, medical office or clinic, and monument works, a mortuary, a museum, photographer shop, print shop, and a silk screening shop. I think it's fair to say that the B1 is the most restrictive zoning we have in the city, and whereas I don't know the genesis for each of these and how they got selected, that it could not be in a B1, I would suspect it probably has to do with the amount of disruption they could cause a neighborhood. Once going into this, one of my biggest concerns was, and I was very honest with you today, that we're not approving a laundromat. I'd love to hear your plans and what you want to do, or what you're telling us what you do. But once we change this from a B1 to a B3, that's changed forever. And if in 6 months you decide not to put this in, you could put in any of the things I just mentioned. That being said, I appreciated meeting with you today, and I, in my heart, feel that this is a long-term commitment to the city of Florissant, not just a single project. You've had a history of relationship with the city of Florissant, and it's my understanding you have other properties you are either currently owning or you are hoping to obtain, and so this relationship is going to be stronger than just a one-time deal. That being said, the other fear, I brought several fears to you today, including my concern that this is going to be in my ward and that this would be a home for vagrants. Vagrants would come to a laundromat to get warm in the winter. You've assured me you're going to have staff on at all time that you're open. As you just said, you'll have staff after you're open. Another concern of mine was late hours, and late hours disrupting the neighbors that live directly in conjunction with the property. And you assured me that you have no desire to stay open past 10 o'clock, which I think is a fair time. That being said, as I told you earlier, we have no current mechanics by which to ensure that. Other than your word, I have no reason to believe you're not being truthful. But I hope that in the next few weeks we can put our heads together and come up with a plan that is good for the citizens of Florissant and my ward specifically. That's all I have. Before we close this public hearing, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? Please step forward, sir, and state your name, please.
Name is Michael Swerdolski, and I live on Florissant Drive, which is a residential street, but the property at 8333 North Lindbergh utilizes Florissant Drive to access that property. There's two entrances on that property. Right across the street is a daycare center. Florissant Drive is approximately 105 houses on the street, and if you don't know, Florissant Drive was formerly Florissant Hills when it was established. But Florissant is a feeder for all the homes behind there, and they utilize Florissant Drive to get to Lindbergh. To the excess that Florissant has established half of Florissant Drive to have parking on one side only because of the volume of traffic that goes up and down. I'm not opposed to a business being down there. There's been businesses down there now, which he was concernedly talking about. But I just wonder if improvements could be made currently. For nobody that has been down that way, if you go North Lindbergh going south, to get into Florissant Drive, you have to make a right turn in there, and the turn is actually 110 degrees to turn in there, which I think if that came up nowadays, street departments wouldn't allow something like that. So, not pertaining to the business, but I like to see corrections on Florissant Drive if something like that goes about, possibly a turn lane, a left turn lane, because we have to deal with that on a regular basis as it is, where traffic is tied up for people making left turn lanes on the Lindbergh Boulevard. Another compromise maybe, and I know this came out years ago, was extending Keevan Lane to go to Lindbergh Boulevard to help alleviate the traffic problem. Whatever you guys decide on that, that's just one of the issues I want to bring up is the volume of traffic that has to come down Florissant Drive, and that is a residential street. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Sikorsky. Is there anyone else who would like to make comment? Seeing none, I will make a motion that we close this public hearing. That is seconded by Mr. Shildroff. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Public hearing number 23-11-031.
In accordance with Section 405-160 of the Florissant Zoning Code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri, in the council chambers at 955 Rue St. Francois on Monday, November 27, 2023, at 7 p.m. on the following proposition: to authorize a special use permit for Serenity Renewal Massage, LLC, to allow for operation of massage business in an existing HD historic business district for the property located at 760 St. Francois. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard. Anyone with special needs should contact the city clerk at least 5 days before said public hearing by calling 839-7630 or email cityclerk@florissant.com.
Is the petitioner present? Mr. Manganelli.
Yes, I just wanted to say I need to recuse myself from this public hearing.
You are recused.
Thank you.
Good evening. Just state your name for the record, please.
Hi, Melissa Buffalo.
Good evening and welcome to the council meeting. Go ahead and tell us about your project, please.
Yeah, so I am requesting approval to start a massage therapy business on 760 Rue St. Francois Street in Suite C. So there is a separate entrance to the back of the building. It's an office building. Currently there is an attorney and a CPA in the building renting out office spaces. So my office will be at Suite C in the back, and there is a separate entrance that clients can park in the back parking lot and come in to see me, and we'll have them request an appointment through me online, and it will be by appointment only, essentially.
What hours do you plan on operating? What days of the week?
10 to 7 Tuesdays, or well, Monday through Friday, but again, it'll be by appointment only. So,
how many appointments do you anticipate you'll have each day?
Maximum of 4.
So then if your last appointment is 7, then you'll be done by 8 o'clock in the area?
Yeah.
Not seeing any question from council, I would ask if anyone is in the audience that would like to make comment at this public hearing. Seeing none, Mr. Harris makes a motion to close this public hearing. That is seconded by Mr. O'Donnell. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And the public hearing is closed. Thank you very much and good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Public hearing number 2311-032.
In accordance with Section 405-135 of the Florissant Zoning Code, a public hearing will be held by the City Council of Florissant, Missouri, in the council chambers of 955 Rue St. Francois on Monday, November 27, 2023, at 7 p.m. on the following proposition: to amend B5 ordinance number 8362 for Brew Crew LLC, DBA 7 Brew, to allow for the operation of a drive-through coffee shop for the property located at 8180 North Lindbergh. Citizens will have an opportunity to be heard. Anyone with special needs should contact City Clerk at least 5 days before said public hearing by calling 839-7600 or cityclerk@florissantmo.com.
Is the petitioner present? Good evening and welcome to the council meeting. If you'll state your name for the record, please.
Good evening, Council. Griffin Bobbitt. I've got Jeff Rafferty with me as well.
Tell us about your project.
Yes, so this is an amendment to a special use permit specifically for a 7 Brew. And I guess as we've spoken, this is just an amendment because we don't have indoor restaurant use. Indoor restaurant use in a drive-through is already approved through that special use permit, but we are a little bit different in the 7 Brew model, as you guys I'm sure have seen around in the local communities. So here to answer any questions on that, but that is the basis of our request.
So is the idea that you're going to remove the building that is currently there?
Yes. Yes, we would.
And you're going to put a new structure that is up?
We do. We bring in a new structure. It's a 510 square foot building is what we do. And then we have a exterior cooler that is
130, I believe. I think 790 is our total square footage with the cooler.
And sir, I'm sorry, I did not catch your name, please.
My name is Joe Rafferty. I oversee operations for us in Missouri.
I know that this went through our planning and zoning, and at least one member of the Planning and Zoning Commission had umbrage with the failure to comply with our masonry ordinance. Are you aware of that ordinance, and what's your comment on the compliance thereof?
Yes, and I can speak to that, and I also have some samples with me as well.
Can you step to the mic so we can hear you, sir?
Yes, and I can speak to that, and I also have samples as well if you'd like me to pass them to the council. So we primarily use a Nichiha panel, which does have a masonry or brick opportunity with it. And again, I will pass that around with it. It's got both a stone and a brick that would look almost identical to any other masonry product.
What is the life expectancy of this?
Nichiha is usually a 30 to 40 year panel, so it's very similar to any other exterior material.
What would the hours of operation be as a drive-through, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, for the drive-through, we would be open Sunday through Thursday, 5:30 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then Fridays and Saturdays we're open till 11 p.m.
And there's a drive-through in that plan, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Mr. Caputa.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. You said this is in the report, this is a prefab metal building, correct?
That is correct.
How do you plan on affixing masonry, brick, and cultured stone onto that?
So it is in the Nichiha panel, so it's not an actual brick and masonry, but it's actually a composite panel that is affixed in the modular process when it's manufactured in Springfield, Missouri.
So it's manufactured metal to look like brick?
Yep. Let me grab it and I'll pass it around to you.
And now, do you have your own contractors that do this?
Yes.
So are they local contractors?
I'm not sure who was selected for the site work on this. So generally a contractor will be in charge of site work only, and then the modular company will come in and place the building and get it operational.
Have you I know we're a labor-friendly community, and I myself, this is only me, I'm only one vote here. I like to see you people come in, from out of town that could use signatory contractors with the St. Louis building trades. Preferably if you can find, use a minority contractor with the St. Louis Building Trades that are signatory. I think it would be beneficial in the long run for your business, and that's okay. Now, is this considered masonry structure, or would this looks like an epoxy plastic composite?
Yep, it is a composite.
Now, what's the wear and tear of this?
Roughly a 30-year lifespan is what most Nishiha manufacturers claim.
30 year? That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Manganelli?
Thank you, Mr. President. Go along with this material. How long has it been in existence?
Nishiha has been around quite a while. It's not a newer product.
I mean, how long is quite a while?
Prior to me, I would say late 80s would be the earliest I know of its existence.
Okay. So I kind of, in my business, I come across a lot of, in rebuilding structures, come across a lot of new building materials, and years, not many years later, they start to fail. So I'm kind of wondering what the track record.
Yeah, Nishiha is a custom product to a name, but there's a lot of other composites out there as well that are very similar, just in a different brand.
Okay. And like you're saying, this is a prefab metal building?
It's a prefabricated building. It's actually fabricated in Springfield, Missouri, where my firm is located,
okay.
And then put on a truck in 3 pieces and shipped here.
Okay, so the construction crews will be from out of town to put that up, is what you're saying?
Yes. Okay. Generally, the only site work is a local contractor.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Harris.
Good evening. So I drove by one of these, I know they're around here, but I just happened to be in Florida this past week on Thanksgiving, and they're out there in the morning, like nothing else was open, and they were out there serving coffee, like 9 a.m. or something like that. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. But I did intentionally look at the building then, and I saw this on the bottom, probably the first, like 3 or 4 feet off the ground.
Generally.
And then it was blue steel panels for
Correct.
the rest of the building, which
Correct.
is actually, most of the building is actually, looks like the steel panel.
Correct.
Do you have a photo? So it's exactly like what I would have saw in Crestview, Florida.
So this will be different because of your masonry ordinance.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering.
So let me pull this up. I got too many papers with me.
And I don't know if you can use that.
I can pass it around if not.
We can turn, is it on, ma'am?
I don't know how you, no, not quite.
Okay, it's not going on.
Can we just pass it around here?
Yeah, that'd probably be the best.
So how would it be different then?
So the masonry panel is going to replace the majority of that metal panel.
Okay.
So there is still a little bit of a metal banding for the awning, but exactly like that.
Okay.
Yep. So you're still going to see a stone wainscot, roughly 4 foot, and then you're going to see the masonry brick to match your ordinance.
Got it. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Are there any current examples of buildings we can go and look at that use this product that you know of?
Yes. We use Nishiha on 40%.
I'd say we currently have locations open in Cottleville, O'Fallon, Highway K. There's one on the other side of O'Fallon, too, that will be opening on Monday. And then we have one in Wentzville as well. So those are the local ones. The one in Wentzville is not open yet. That's a construction site, but the building is there. So you could absolutely view any of those.
What is the manufacturer warranty on this?
On
this product?
Nishiha panel, that I do not know off the top of my head. I don't know that I've got their spec sheet with me.
We on the council received an email from a concerned person who said it was a 15-year warranty. Does that sound right?
That I do not know.
I would also point out that this other concerns with this product were fading and discolor. I know that you comment on these. Fading and discoloration, cracking issues, moisture and damage and rotting, effervescence, mold and mildew growth, storm and impact damage, delamination issues, chalking over time. Do you have any comments on those concerns?
I mean, I could go through the list. Delamination with a composite product would be extremely rare because it's compressed composite material, so there's nothing to delaminate there. Thank you, sir. And again, the other good part about these is they are replaceable, whereas if you were doing real masonry, you would be pulling that completely off. So if for some reason something were to happen, we could replace an individual panel or the entire exterior material.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions. Not seeing any questions from the council. Before we close this public hearing, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment? And seeing none, Ms. Pagano makes a motion to close this public hearing. That is seconded by Mr. Siam. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Old business. Bills for second reading. Bill number 9927. Councilman Schildroff moves for a second reading. That is seconded by Mr. Manganelli. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance to amend Title II, Chapter 245, Parks and Recreation of the Florissant City Code, Section 245180, fees for use, to adjust fees for use for various park facilities.
Councilman Schildroff moves for third reading. That is seconded by Mr. Caputa. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance to amend Title II, Chapter 245, Parks and Recreation of the Florissant City Code, Section 245180, fees for use to adjust the fees for use for various park facilities.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this bill? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano? Yes. Parson? Yes. Siam? Yes. Harris? Yes. Manganelli? Yes. Egan?
Yes.
Caputa? Yes. Shildroff? Yes. O'Donnell? Yes.
Bill number 9927 passes and becomes ordinance number 8935. 8935. Bill number 9928. I will make a motion for a second reading. That is seconded by Mr. O'Donnell. Any discussion? As far as discussion, I would make a motion to suspend the rules and invite the petitioner to the podium. That is seconded by Mr. Caputa. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Is the petitioner present this evening, Ms. Clark? Ms. Clark, if you come forward, please. Thank you.
Hello, I am Tequila Clark, here for 1169 North Highway 67 for Taste LLC.
Very good. At the public hearing, we had some conversation, things kind of evolved, and I want to make sure that I have some questions, and I know at least one other council person has some questions that we'd like to see answered. To recap the public hearing, some of the questions I had, one had to do with the cross-access, the cross-access, which you told me those agreements are in place. I discussed, I was concerned with the handicap access to the restaurant, and you weren't as concerned as I am, and I understand that, and I'm still concerned. We talked about the hours of operation, and you said to 8 o'clock, and maybe on Saturdays you would be going as late as 9 o'clock. Is that
yes,
correct?
Yep.
You also answered, I asked about the full kitchen, the dishwasher, that kind of stuff, and you plan on doing that. And then we got to alcohol, and I was a little concerned when I first got this project. I thought it was sort of like a diner. I know I read the minutes from the planning and zoning, and if alcohol was discussed at planning and zoning, it was not mentioned in the minutes. So I wasn't at planning and zoning. I still wasn't all that concerned because I didn't see a bar in the plans. And then I asked about a bar, and you said, yes, you plan on putting a bar in. And we did get those plans, at least I did get those plans late this afternoon, where you have the bar next to the kitchen, I believe, I guess along that back wall.
Yes.
And then I asked you about where you're going to have music and entertainment. You said there might be times that you would have music entertainment.
Yes, occasionally we will, as any other like restaurant or bar. Like if you're having maybe say if it's a holiday and we want to offer a band or something
Right.
to come out for holiday, just to really get the public in. They can dine, listen to music or a nice band that night or
Sure.
something like that. But it's not like a every night situation for us, no.
Right, and I was very honest with you last time. My fear is nightclubs, because I don't like nightclubs. 'Cause
Yes,
they
yes,
end
and
up taking resources from the police department out of my subdivision. And we understood, we talked about a whole series of things that you weren't going to charge for people to come and listen to music.
No.
And you wouldn't be selling parking and VIP
No.
packages and all that. So you did mention that you had a partner in this endeavor. Who is that?
I don't have a partner. I actually have a cook that I've worked with before that owned a restaurant, and we work close hand in hand. His name, he's not in today.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of town on other business. But I don't have a partner. I am the sole owner of the business. And with all due respect, with God's grace, I will be 45 next month. I have no intentions on running a club.
I believe you, but I'll be very honest, I've been like you before.
That's fine. I have 2 school-aged children, and I'm married, and I'm quite sure my husband wants me home at a certain time.
And what is the name of your partner, just for the record? The person that we were just talking about, the cook, or?
His name is Ryan Farrar.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So how many businesses do you propose to be running out of that operation? Just one?
That business is one. On the other far end, as you can see, I own a home care agency,
Right.
so I'm not new to the business world. I'm the director of that, and that will be later. I'm going to move that agency to the further end, and also it'll be an office for the business taste as well, for people to come and fill out their applications. HR will reside there, and then my home care business will obviously be on the other side. I think it's 2 more suites down at the other end, and it's just normal office hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30 for business.
So I know that looking at the registration of the state of Missouri, there are bundles of love. Is that your home care business?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
What exactly kind of business is that?
That's where we go out to the citizen's home, and we provide care services for them, such as chore work, nurse. I have nurses on staff that will go out and do medication setup. We do some minor wounds, but not a lot. Basically, your normal chore work, keep you out of the hospital doing your daily activities, such as cooking, cleaning, laundry, running errands, shopping, all of that. We do that as well.
Okay, but that's not where clients would actually come in?
No.
To the restaurant to be?
No.
To be cared for, or?
No, we go to their homes. So they wouldn't, I'm also mandated by the state. So they come out and give us a care plan that we have to follow, and the services have to be provided in the client's home. No services will be able not to be provided in the client's home. And then we have to clock in and out from the client's home.
Okay.
So this is all a separate thing.
So this separate business is going to truly be a separate entity as far as will be operating out of the office that's in this plan here?
Say it again.
Is the Bundles of Love going to be operating out of the office that you have for, what is the name of your restaurant?
Taste, LLC, Taste.
It's going to be called Taste?
Yes.
Is that going to operate out of the same office, essentially?
No. They'll have their own offices, per se. When you enter the building where the office spaces is, you can separate it by 2 different sides if need be. I'm not too for sure exactly how that, I'm still working it out with the landlord on how to construct that building, because also with the state business, it's certain things you can't operate with it together as well. So I have mandates from them I have to follow personally too, as far as running a home care business, because we have people's personal information. So I can't just have that all over the place. Yeah. So but as far as in Taste, no, Taste will be totally separate. It's on a different adjacent end of the building than the home care agency.
There could be physical separation.
Yeah, they're physically separated. Taste is on the right end, and the other business will be on the further end.
Okay. Since we're running a bar, and what's on the agenda for this evening you have not requested a liquor license tonight. That's something in the future.
No, I think I have. I've already filled out the...
We have the paperwork.
Yes.
It hasn't, apparently you submitted the paperwork, but it's not been put on the agenda yet. So we'll probably get that, I'm guessing, next week or the next meeting we have. With this becoming a bar and a bar and restaurant, My concerns going into bars and restaurants is coverings of the windows. Like we speak to pretty much all people that come and try to get liquor licenses for us. Are you planning on covering the windows? Will you keep them open so people like law enforcement can see in?
As far as like covering the windows, I don't have any. It will be the normal setting as any other restaurant. When you walk up, either they'll have a mirror window or either a window where you can see through it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much. I just plan on doing it like any other local restaurant.
Right.
Yeah. I don't have anything to black the windows out or anything like that because it's a restaurant. It's not a bar and grill.
Right.
It's basically a restaurant. Just like if you go to Applebee's, Red Lobster, they serve liquor as well as food. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Again, I'm not trying to come off as a
No,
heavy hitter here,
you're okay. You won't understand it.
I've been lied to before.
I understand that. We're all in the business of.
So do you plan on having a surveillance system, a videotape surveillance?
Yes, I will. Yep.
And
24
should
hours.
Local authorities, law enforcement request a copy of that, you'd be willing to make?
Oh, yeah.
Event? Okay.
Yes.
I don't have any more comments this time. Ms. Pagano?
Thank you, President and Council. Late this afternoon, I was given some information about the property up there and the number of violations that are on that property, ordinance violations. I know you may not own the property, but in meetings past, we have not allowed for businesses to go in and open when there's been violations on the property. I am going to ask that we continue this until the next meeting because I want council to have a chance to look and us to verify. I have a lot of pictures and of the violations. So this is nothing against you and your business. This would be against the owner of the property. And this just happened a few meetings ago with another business and I would not feel comfortable approving you when I didn't approve the other one who had only one violation. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a stack of violations. So that's my concern. I want council to be able to look at these and then make the judgment on that. So I am asking to please continue this until at least the first meeting in December, and then we can go from there once we do it. Did I do that right, Mr. Hansel? Yes, you did. Thank you. I just want approval on the last one. Thank you.
So Ms. Pagano makes a motion to extend this, postpone this, or extend this till the December 11, 2023 meeting. That's seconded by Mr. Caputa. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So I would suggest that you have, I'm not sure who the owner of that complex is.
If I told you.
He knows the violations. You give him, there was a stack of violations that need to be attended to, and hopefully we can get on the right way, in the right lane by the next month.
Okay. And quick question about the liquor license. It wasn't on for this meeting, so it'll be on now for December 11th because that's why I thought I was here for it tonight.
As long as we have all the paperwork.
Yeah, she has it. I turned it in 2 weeks ago, but okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming this evening.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we need to vote on that?
All in favor of the amendment? The continuation?
No, you don't need a roll call.
No.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Very good.
Bill number 9930. I will make a motion for second reading and seconded by Mr. Harris. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance to authorize a special use permit for T&T located at 8192 North Lindbergh to allow for the operation of a carryout restaurant.
I'll make a motion for third reading as seconded by Mr. O'Donnell. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance to authorize a special use permit for T&T located at 8192 North Lindbergh to allow for the operation of a carryout restaurant.
Before the final vote is taken on this measure, is there anyone that would like to speak on this bill in the audience? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano?
Yes.
Parson?
Yes.
Cyan?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Manganelli?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Bill number 9930 passes and becomes ordinance number 8936. 8936. Bill number 9931. Mr. Shildroth moves for a second reading as seconded by Mr. Parson. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance amending ordinance number 8843, establishing a new compensation plan for the seasonal employees of the city of Florissant and containing an effective date clause.
Councilman Cyan makes a motion for a third reading as seconded by Ms. Pagano. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance amending ordinance number 8843, establishing a new compensation plan for the seasonal employees of the city of Florissant and containing an effective date clause.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make comment towards this bill? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano? Parson? Cyan? Harris? Manganelli? Egan?
Yes.
Caputa? Shildroth? O'Donnell?
Bill number 9931 passes and becomes ordinance number 8937. 8937. New business. Request. Councilman O'Donnell moves to approve the request for a beer and wine by the drink liquor license for a narrow gauge located at 1545 North Highway 67. That is seconded by myself. I would make a motion to ask the petitioner to come forward, to amend the rules, suspend the rules, as seconded by Mr. Caputa. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Good evening. How are you? Ms. Hardesty, welcome. State your name for the record, please.
Heather Hardesty, owner and operator of Narrow Gauge Brewing Company.
Thank you. Good to see you here this evening. Would you just take a moment and explain to the council what it exactly is that you wish to do?
Right, so we just moved into a new space at 1545 North Highway 67. We previously operated out of Cagino's Restaurant in Florissant, where we produced in the basement. Brewing operations are now at the new space, which was the old former Pool King. We currently have our liquor licenses to sell retail, or not retail by the drink, but packaged beer. So we sell 4-packs, kegs, and mostly to-go product. But we're looking to put in a bar this coming year, so we're applying for the local retail by the drink license to be able to serve our own product on site, and essentially tasting room setting so customers can come in and try all of our beers.
Very good. What hours would you think you'll be operating?
At the latest 10 p.m. on like Friday, Saturday, more likely 9 or 8 most weeks.
And I've been down to that facility. The windows aren't covered over, are they?
Nope, it's wide open. So if you can drive by currently, that'll be the same state it'll be in when we put in a bar.
Very good. And do you have a surveillance system in there?
Yes, we have a security system in place.
And as I asked the previous petitioner, should local authorities ask you for a copy of videotape, you'd be willing to supply that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't have any further questions. Mr. Caputa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hi, Heather. How are you?
Good. How are you?
My question is, when you had your production at Cagino's, and you have none of your production at all at Cagino's anymore? Everything is over at the new facility?
Correct, yep.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, they still serve our beer on tap under their retail license, but we don't produce over there anymore.
So everything's at your new facility? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
See no further council comments. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Pagano? Parson? Cyan? Harris? Manganelli? Egan?
Yes.
Caputa? Shildroth? O'Donnell?
The motion is carried and the liquor license is approved. Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Resolutions. Resolution number 1054.
Resolution of the City of Florissant City Council endorsing St. Louis County's grant program for the city's waste reduction efforts.
Mr. Caputa moves for a second reading. That is seconded by Mr. Parson. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Resolution of the City of Florissant City Council endorsing the St. Louis County's grant program for the city's waste reduction efforts.
Mr. Showup moves for a third reading. That is seconded by Mr. Harris. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Pagano? Parson? Siam? Harris? Manganelli? Egan?
Yes.
Caputa? Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Yes.
Resolution of the City of Florissant City Council endorsing St. Louis County's grant program for the city's waste reduction efforts.
Before the final vote is taken, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this resolution? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano? Parson? Siam? Harris? Manganelli? Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Resolution number 1054 passes. Bills for first reading. New business. Bill number 9929.
Ordinance to authorize the rezoning of 8333 North Lindbergh for Tamara Properties from B1 Local Shopping District to B3 Extensive Business District to allow for a laundromat.
Bill number 9937.
Hang on. Sorry. Ordinance to authorize amendment to B5 ordinance number 8362 for Brew Crew LLC DBA 7 Brew to allow for a drive-through only coffee shop located at 8180 North Lindbergh.
Bill number 9938. Correction, 9938.
Ordinance to authorize a special use permit for Serenity Renewal Massage LLC for the operation of a massage business located at 760 St. Francois, Suite C, in an HB Historic Business Zoning District.
Mr. O'Donnell moves for a second reading. That is seconded by Mr. Shildroth. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance to authorize a special use permit for Serenity Renewal Massage LLC for the operation of a massage business located at 760 St. Francois, Suite C, in an HB Historic Business Zoning District.
Mr. O'Donnell moves for third reading. That is seconded by Mr. Siam. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Pagano? Parson? Siam? Harris? Manganelli? Egan?
Here?
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell? Ordinance to authorize a special use permit to Serenity Renewal Massage LLC for the operation of a massage business located at 760 St. Francois, Suite C, in an HB Historic Business Zoning District.
Before the final vote is taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak towards it? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano? Parson? Siam? Harris? Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Bill number 9938 passes and becomes ordinance number 8938. Bill number 9939.
Ordinance authorizing a transfer in the capital improvement fund of $180,000 from account number 403-56100-301-230047, capital additions public works, to account number 403-53101, vehicle leases, public works.
Mr. Shildroth makes a motion for a second reading, seconded by Mr. Caputa. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Ordinance authorizing the transfer of the capital improvement fund of $180,000 from account number 403-56100-301-230047, capital additions, public works, to account number 403-53101, vehicle leases, public works.
Mr. Caputa moves for a third reading and is seconded by Mr. Parson. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Pagano? Parson? Siam? Harris? Manganelli? Egan?
Yes.
Caputa? Shildroth? O'Donnell? Ordinance authorizing a transfer in the capital improvement fund of $180,000 from account number 403-56100-301-230047, capital additions, public works, to account number 403-53101, vehicle leases, public works.
Before the final vote is taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak towards it? Seeing none, clerk, please poll the council.
Pagano? Parson? Siam? Harris? Manganelli? Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth.
Yes.
O'Donnell.
Yes.
Bill number 9939 passes and becomes ordinance number 8939. 8939. Bill number 9936.
Hang on. An ordinance authorizing the naming of the Florissant City Council chambers in the City Hall located at 955 Rue St. Francois, the John M. Hessel City Council chambers.
Mr. Schildroth moves for a second reading and is seconded by Mr. Caputa. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
We're not done yet.
I know, we're going to do this anyway.
We amended it at the beginning. Did you see that? Did-
You've got to read it for the second
do
time.
the second time.
I
An
believe.
ordinance authorizing the, move for second, we did change it for second. Go to the second.
Thought I did. We'll do it again. Councilman Caputa moves for a second reading. That is seconded by Mr. Schildroth. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Against?
Ordinance authorizing the naming of the Florissant City Council chambers in the City Hall located at 955 Rue St. Francois, the John M. Hessel Council chambers.
Mr. Parson moves for a third reading. That is seconded by Mr. Manganelli. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Pagano? Yes. Parson? Yes. Siam? Yes. Harris? Yes. Manganelli?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell? An ordinance authorizing the naming of the Florissant City Council chambers in the City Hall located at 955 Rue St. Francois, the John M. Hessel City Council chambers.
Before the final vote is taken on this bill, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak towards it? You're not recognized, sir. Sorry.
Got no say no more.
Madam Clerk, will you please poll the council?
Yes, sir. Pagano? Parson? Siam? Harris? Manganelli?
Yes.
Egan?
Yes.
Caputa?
Yes.
Shildroth?
Yes.
O'Donnell?
Bill number 9936 passes and becomes ordinance number 8940. 8940. Council announcements.
Wait, you need to make a motion to cancel.
No. I apologize. I will make a motion to cancel the second council meeting December, which is
25th.
December 25th. That is seconded by Mr. Caputa. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Council announcements.
Okay.
Your Honor?
I only got about 15 minutes worth of announcements. No, I'm just kidding. Just real quick, we had a great event on Saturday, the Miracle on St. Francis Street, tree lighting ceremony, and it was just a beautiful day in the city of Florissant once again. And certainly I want to acknowledge the people that put that together. Lori Lowry, who's the chairman of the Valley Flowers Committee, and her committee for being part of that. Jessica Berthold, the chairman of Old Town Partners, and Peg Gettemeyer with the Old St. Ferdinand Shrine. I said a wonderful day. It was very well attended, and many great events for families. So just once again, another great event in the city of Florissant. Thank you.
The next meeting of the Florissant City Council will be December the 11th, 2023 at 7 p.m. I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting that is seconded by Mr. Manganelli. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the council shall stand adjourned.
How do we want to do the...